Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's webinar in office hours. This month's topic is leveraging debt responsibly. So let's begin with an icebreaker. Today is tax day, April 15th, 2025. And a fun fact I learned is that this is the 70th year that it has been April 15th. In 1955, it changed. It used to be March 15th. So they decided that both the IRS and the American citizens could use an extra month, and it's been April 15th ever since. But it could also change in the future. So that's kind of cool. And then this month's topic is on debt, leveraging debt responsibly. So, how is debt like a chocolate cake? Debt is like a chocolate cake in that some of it is very good, but too much will leave you with a stomach ache. So, let's jump in. Our agenda this month, we're going to cover some common narratives around debt and how people think of it. You might identify with one of these. We're going to compare loans, go over how to do it, key terms, and assessing affordability. Some payoff methods we're going to touch on. We're going to touch on resources to seek help if you're dealing with debt, and some long-term planning ratios that we provide to our clients here at Longitude Financial Planning. And then we'll go over the 20% that provides 80% of the learnings today. So we'll begin with the common narratives. There are three we're going to focus on here: debt as a trap, debt as a tool, and debt as a skill. We begin with debt as a trap. There is a cycle of unmanageable debt. This is how someone who believes this narrative around debt, or maybe it's their lives. We've all heard stories like this. A catastrophic event leads to spiraling costs, either that or low financial literacy, some ignorance around the long-term effects of debt can lead to spiraling costs, and suddenly debt is a trap, or it feels that way. So in this narrative, we can recognize some warning signs. First would be high interest revolving credit. This is just very expensive and can lead to that spiraling downward spiral in personal finances. The second warning sign is robbing Peter to pay Paul. So that would be paying off a debt with a new line of credit. So you pay off the old line of credit with just opening a new line of credit. These are red flags. If you find yourself doing this or know someone doing this, they might feel like this, like debt is a trap. Okay, second, debt as a tool. We've heard about good and bad debt, so we're just going to explore a little bit what that really means and how debt can be a tool, if that's the narrative that we subscribe to. So in this narrative, debt is used to buy productive assets. It's an informed decision. They understand the terms of the contract, and they assess the affordability for their specific case. The next narrative is debt as a skill. So believing that there are strategies to manage debt and that with discipline, debt can be managed effectively and you can avoid bad and unaffordable debt. So next section, we're going to compare some loans. We're going to go over key terms you need to understand in order to fully grasp, be an informed buyer of a loan. And then we're going to assess affordability, go over how to do that. First, here is a list of some key terms you'll need to understand. First, APR. This is the annual percentage rate of the loan. It shows the yearly cost. Okay. So this is what you're paying in order to receive that loan. Next term, interest rate directly affects your monthly payment amount. This is happening a lot in the housing market right now. Higher rates are really pushing up mortgage payments, making it hard to afford a house. The principal amount, this is the amount that you actually borrowed and that you owe. So you make payments on the principal. You also make interest payments, and then those payments made to the principal reduce the amount that you owe. The term of the loan, this is the length of the contract. It will affect the monthly payment and potentially the interest rate. And your debt to income ratio, this is used by loan officers, people who sell mortgages to be sure that you can afford your mortgage or your personal loan, whatever it may be. So this is used by the lenders themselves. We can also use it on our side, but they'll have slightly different calculations, really more favorable to the consumer because they want to make that sale. Okay. Next, assessing affordability. Here are some steps you can take to assess if a loan is affordable in your case. First, check your personal debt to income ratio. Make sure your total debt payments are under 36%. This is including your mortgage, okay? Next, review your budget. Make sure you're not going to have a cash flow issue and that you can cover the new payment. Understanding the total cost will help you make a more informed decision. It can be really eye-opening and this is generally isn't done over the life of the loan. What is the total amount that I'll be paying back? I might borrow 10,000, but I might be paying back 30, right? So understanding the total cost of the loan can really help to make informed decisions. Next, you can stress test your cash flows. Ask, can I make the payments if my income drops? Things happen. You can lose a job, become disabled, anything can happen. Stress testing is a great idea. And then this really should be step one, confirming you have emergency funds. If you don't have emergency funds, you shouldn't be taking out loans. You should be building your emergency funds. Yeah, you really need to have an emergency fund first, and then you can take these other affordability steps after that. Here's two examples, case studies on taking out a loan, right? Comparing two different loans. So the first loan, Jordan has taken out a loan, has a monthly income of $6,000, a total debt payment of $1,800. This gives him a 30% debt to income ratio. This makes it affordable for him. It's under that 36. And what's the loan purpose? It's productive. It's to buy retail inventory. I'm guessing he's buying wholesale. He'll resell it, make some money on that. And so it's a productive asset. Alex has a slightly different income, also a lower monthly debt payment. His ratio, however, is higher at 37%. This makes it unaffordable. The loan purpose also is not for production. It's to buy some expensive furniture. So this is a luxury good. It's consumption. The loan purpose and the affordability issue would make this a bad loan. So Alex should not go forward with this. Here are two payoff methods you can use if you're dealing with revolving debt, you're carrying debt month to month. You can use the avalanche method to pay it off, or you can use the snowball method. So first, the avalanche method. This is the most efficient method. Some people find that very motivating. And the way it's done is by paying off the highest interest rate first, and then moving on to the lower rates after that. The next method is the snowball method. This starts by paying the smallest loan balance first. So you pay off the smallest loan balance. If it feels really good, you have one less debt to think about. And you take that monthly payment that you were making on that small debt and you put it on the next largest. Next section is maintaining financial health. First, we'll go over managing your credit score, and then we'll go over refinancing and consolidating debt. So when you're managing your credit score, you should be targeting a score over 740. That will give you access to the best rates on loans in the market. The most important aspect of your credit history is on-time payments. So being aware that if you're not going to do anything else around your credit score, which you should, making those payments is the most important thing. Next, you should be checking your credit report with the credit bureaus at least annually, just doing a review so that you don't have any bogus claims against you, detrimentally harming your score. Okay, next section, refinancing and consolidating your loans. So neither of these will erase your debt. It's just a restructuring of existing debt. There is no free lunch. Refinancing and consolidating have fees involved. They're not right in all situations. If you're not sure what to do, best to reach out to a professional, get some guidance. So first, consolidation. This is when you have multiple debts and you take out a single larger debt and you pay off all of the smaller debts with this one debt. And all it does is it simplifies your payment strategy. So you're not managing all these little debts. You just have one debt to think about. Sometimes there are promotions like 0% APR for the first year. These can be good but usually those promotions end and you have a higher interest rate beyond that. So something to keep in mind. Refinancing is a little different. You have a single loan and you replace it with another loan. So you're just going one to one instead of many to one. And going one to one, you're able to lower the interest or change the terms of the loan in your favor. There are fees involved in both of these, and particularly refinancing, you need to have good credit to take advantage of the possibility of lowering your interest rate. Next section is on seeking help. So we're going to go over debt settlement agencies and credit counseling services. So the debt settlement industry is out there and they make this claim to get rid of your debt, make your debt go away, lower your monthly payments. You won't have to worry about it anymore. And some of these claims are legitimate and some of these claims are bogus. So there are a couple things to understand about this industry. It's not free. You pay them. There are no guaranteed results to their services. They can't guarantee that your debts will be erased, that your payments will go away. An anecdote, recently I had a conversation and this lady, she told me she consolidated her debts, but that she was paying a company to do that. And in talking with her, we found it was actually a debt settlement agency that she had contacted. And she ended up being sued by her creditors. Even though she was paying this debt settlement agency, her creditors are still suing her for her now delinquent loan, because the way that these agencies work is they stop paying your debts. They tell you, stop paying your debts, pay us, we'll negotiate on your behalf to lower your debts, potentially get you a settlement offer from the credit companies. This process negatively impacts credit scores because you're missing payments. It's the most important single aspect of your credit score. And they're intentionally missing these payments in order to get the credit card companies or other companies to settle for a lesser amount and clear your debt. This is a very lengthy and expensive process. Be aware. Next is credit counseling services. These are much more about navigating your specific circumstances with a professional. These professionals are accredited, they're debt counselors. They simply help people through the process. You pay them for their time. It can be under $100 to talk to someone about your particular circumstances and get the support you really need without damaging your credit. So long-term financial planning. Here at Longitude Financial Planning, long-term financial planning is our bread and butter. So we monitor your debt on all of your financial reports. If you work with us, you'll either receive an elements report or a right capital report. Elements report will have a debt rate on every page. That's part of your elements. You can see here 14%. How that fits into their finances would be a one-on-one conversation if that's appropriate for them. And right capital is just a more detailed program which can project debt payments into the future, give you payoff times, and play with different variables in that way. So if you increase payments, how much faster will you pay off a debt, etc. And here's the 20%. So 20% of this presentation will provide 80% of the value. Here it is. Debt is a tool, not just a trap. Debt can be used strategically when you're buying assets or education, not just consuming potato chips. Know the basics, understand everything, understand what you're agreeing to, make sure it's affordable for you, understand the different payoff strategies and how they motivate you. Protect your credit through this process. Be wise when you're refinancing or consolidating. Always seek help with any of this and seek help early if you find yourself feeling like debt is a trap. And monitor and plan throughout to be sure that your debt strategy is aligned with your goals. Thank you for joining. This has been another monthly webinar in office hours. I'll see you next month.